just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if it's sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 77. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benezowitz, and welcome into another podcast. You can find this bad boy on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you find your pods. Of course, check us out on YouTube and type in Bad Weather Fans, and you can watch the video version of our pod. Alex,
Mike,
the Nets won today, so I'm in a good mood. How are you doing?
Oh, congrats. Congrats. You cap off another offseason championship. Well, actually, he didn't win the offseason championship this year. That was the Bulls probably won that offseason championship.
But you know what? This could be the best Nets offseason if their rookie, Cam Thomas, is legit, who's looking great in Summer League. He might be better than Kevin Knox was with the Knicks in Summer League. The first time he played in Summer League.
Yeah, well, this time he hasn't played. Yeah. And maybe he can reach Chris Copeland status on the Nets. You know what I mean? Who knows? So anyway.
Nah, but
let's
how
get
are you
to our
doing?
guest. Good? Yeah, I'm good, man. Another day in the life of Alex B at Knicks Central. So that's a lot to say.
Hey, we could do a whole episode on what's the day in the life like of Alex. He wakes up.
Oh man.
What time are you getting up these days?
Probably around 7, depending on when the dog jumps on my head, and then I gotta go take her for a walk. So probably around 7:30 every day. I can't sleep in anymore.
Yeah, you get your times. I'm 7 o'clock every day. I get up at 6:50. Then I wake up my son Ryan, and away we go. And now we're here.
All right.
We got a fun episode planned for you guys today, whenever you're listening to this bad boy. We'll be talking about the summer leagues. We'll be talking about some of the off-season moves. But we also have a fun interview planned for you. So we'll get to the interview, and then we'll do all of our fun conversations on the back end of that. So here we're talking with a very big Knicks fan who everybody, I'm sure, on Nick Nation is following on Twitter on that side of things. It is Slizzy, a.k.a. State of the New York Knicks podcast. Alex, I enjoyed his rant about R.J. Barrett from a couple of weeks ago and wanting him to stay with the New York Knicks. So we'll get into all of that. We'll have a lot of fun. Here is our conversation with Slizzy, State of the New York Knicks podcast, and then we'll talk on the backside of things. So enjoy the convo, everybody. So what's going on? I see, if you're watching this on the YouTube version of Bad Weather Fans, you're hanging out at work. So we appreciate you taking some time. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anytime, bro.
You don't want to talk. We can talk a little Nets here. I'm desperate to know what you think of the Cam Thomas, buzzer beater today in Summer League. I mean, Nets look fire, man.
It's funny. I was watching that game, and I had an argument with somebody earlier about Cam Thomas on Twitter because they said Cam Thomas is better than RJ.
Yeah, I saw that. That was ridiculous.
So as soon as he shot that shot and he made it, I was a little salty. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you, man. I know you're obviously a huge Knicks fan, and you had this awesome rant that you posted on social media on Twitter where you talked about not wanting to trade R.J. Barrett for an all-star from Utah. Stand by that?
Still stand by that?
Yeah, I still stand by that. Oh, yeah. Listen, man.
Loyal.
Y'all been a Knicks fan for 20 years, right? And we only had 4 winning seasons in the past, 20 years. So from 2020 to 2010, we had to deal with guys like Isaiah Thomas, who else? Scott Layden, Larry Brown, all of these dudes. We dealt with wild people, and I never had a chance to grow up with any draft picks. And it's crazy because the one draft pick that we were supposed to have, Frederick Weiss, Vince Carter jumped over him in the Olympics, and he was scared to come to the USA. So,
it should have been Ron Artest, and it should have been Ron Artest.
Yes,
that's the problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I'm not used to draft picks. I'm not used to draft picks being good. That's another thing. Frank Ntilikina, I tried to front for him forever. May God bless him. Kevin Knox, may God bless him. Mitchell Robinson soon, may God bless him. RJ Barrett, bro. That's my guy, bro. That's what I got. That's it.
Let me ask you a question. So a lot of Knicks fans hate Elfrid Payton, and rightfully so. You know what I mean? He played pretty terribly. Tibbs stayed with him way too long. We had a lot of debates with that. We agreed like Tibbs is out of control here, you know? But why do Knicks fans hate Elfrid more than Frank Ntilikina? Shouldn't we hate Ntilikina more since he was a top 10 pick and a bust, and he was like, took him over Donovan Mitchell and was like really, really held the franchise back if you think about it. You know what I mean? Like, so why do Knicks fans hate Ntilikina more than Elfrid?
So boom, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give you both sides of the coin, right? You got the Knicks fan who seen Michael Porter Jr. Wait, let me think back to the Knicks Frank Ntilikina draft. All right, you got Donovan Mitchell, Malik Monk, and all of those guys, but mainly Donovan Mitchell. So certain Knicks fans is salty about that, right? Because you watch Donovan Mitchell score 57 in a playoff game, and you like, what the hell? Right. Other Knicks fans though is like, he's not from New York. He's not from the city. He's from Europe, right? So they stereotype him already. They're going to say, oh, we know what a New York point guard looks like. And they try to refer to Stephon Marbury or Raymond Felton or some of those other guys. So they just, they stereotype him. He never really put up good stats, honestly, as far as like Frank is concerned. So the people who never wanted him here in the first place, they got a lot of stuff to stand on. And plus, like, Elfrid Payton was a part of a team that was the 4th seed, and he was a part of that. Like, even if you dislike him, he was a part of that. So, they going to hang their hats on Elfrid Payton with his 10 points and 3 assists per game, and they're going to say, well, he's better than Frank. All right, cool. No problem. But that's just both sides to it. Like, certain fans, they see who was drafted after Frank, and they hate Frank. Other fans, they love Frank. They love his defense. They try to defend him. But how much can you defend? So it's tough, bro. The whole Frank thing is tough, bro.
It's go ahead, Alex.
No, go. I was going to say, it seems like more people hate Elfrid than Frank. You're thinking more people hate Frank than Elfrid? Is that what you're thinking?
I think more people hate Elfrid than Frank.
I gotcha.
It could be tied depending on who you're targeting at that moment. It could be tied.
Got it.
I as an outsider, as a Net fan, I'm trying to look into that and think about it, but it's fascinating because so much expectation, like there was no expectation on Frank because nobody really knew who he was. And then this Knicks team in the playoffs, in the mix, making a move, and then saw him as a player that's in this rotation, and he never panned out in the big spots. And I think that irritates the Knicks. But if you were to like rewind the season and Tibbs never played Elfrid and he went to Frank and Frank had that anger would be even magnified. But the fact that Elfrid was there in spots where they needed him and couldn't come through in the clutch, I think really pisses off Knicks fans.
Yeah. I another thing too, when it comes to Elfrid Payton is, a part of me think he was stealing minutes, bro. Like we could have developed Frank even more, and we never had a chance to. So that's kind of annoying to me. And Frank never complained. Elfrid Payton moms literally was on Knicks Twitter slandering Knicks players,
right? Laughing at them, like the whole thing, right? So and I think I talk about this a lot on this podcast and on Twitter at Knicks Central that I feel like Elfrid was promised minutes as a package deal for Randall. You know what I mean? Like remember that whole thing on the Woj pod where Randall sat down at a dinner uptown at some Italian restaurant with Leon Rose and these guys, and then Leon Rose made the power play to Dolan to take over the team. But Elfrid was at that dinner. So like he was I feel like it was business that Elfrid had to start. You know what I mean? So because it didn't make any sense to all of a sudden playoffs and you're in the middle of a playoff series and now you bench him and you don't even put him like you're starting point guard. You don't even put him on the bench and play him bench minutes. You DNP him. Like it was just bizarre. And I think that threw off that whole series. You know what I mean?
It definitely did. It definitely did. Because think about it like this. Imagine you playing with Elfrid Payton the whole season, right? And you're playing the slowest pace in the NBA. Then you say, you know what? We're gonna take him out 2 games into the playoffs, and we're gonna start Derrick Rose. That's why RJ Barrett looked like a spot up shooter.
Right. And then on top of that, you put Frank Ntilikina on Trae Young at the end of game 1 and the biggest play cold. That didn't make any sense either. I didn't understand that.
Oh my God.
What are you going to do? Water under the bridge at this point, right?
Is there a Nets-Knicks rivalry?
No. Not right now. Not that I know of. The Nets is so far ahead of my Knicks right now, bro. I'm gonna be realistic. Like I tell Knicks fans all the time that we're 2 years away from being 2 years away. So y'all might as well just be patient, relax. Don't have high expectations, because you're gonna always be mad at the Knicks. If you have great expectations for this team, you're gonna be mad. RJ's 21. Randall is 26. Randall just had a gruesome playoff series, but he could work on it. He could get better. We just got to be patient, man. We 2 years away. Got to be patient.
So you didn't like the offseason then, I guess, right?
God. Said the offseason.
I saw your video laughing at the Fournier contract with your coworkers. That was pretty funny. I actually liked the deal, so I kind of disagreed, but it was still funny. And I know you don't like that deal with Charlotte for the 19th pick when they picked Kai Jones. You've seen Kai Jones dunk on everybody in summer league, and that was the one part of the offseason I really didn't get. So I just want to hear what your thoughts are overall on the offseason.
As far as the trading the 19th pick, I'm just trolling. Don't take that serious. That's just troll moves.
Yeah.
As far as like, what's the second thing you asked me? My bad.
No, I said, what are your thoughts on the offseason overall? I know you didn't really like the draft, but maybe you're just trolling. But either way, like, what are your thoughts overall on the offseason? I know the Fournier contract you laughed at with your coworkers. That was funny. Just overall, what were your thoughts?
We're going into 30th Street.
I love it as far as like, how can I put this? When you're talking about camaraderie, right? You bring in Evan Fournier, you get Kemba Walker on a $16 million deal, right? And they both previously, oh my Lord Jesus, I'm so tired. They both played on Boston, so they have chemistry already. And I don't know. It's just come on, Leon Rose. Your first signing for the player for the all season was Evan Fournier. Come on, bro. Come on, Leon. Come on, Leon. At least announce it. Come on, Leon.
I didn't mind it. Honestly, I didn't mind it. He was an upgrade over Bullock. You know what I mean? He was an upgrade over Bullock.
Yes, he was. He definitely was an upgrade over Bullock. That I will give him.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm nice to Alex because I saw the Nets torture Evan Fournier in the playoffs, and they just picked on him all day long. And the other guy they picked on when he was healthy, was Kemba Walker. You think Kemba's cooked, or you think he has valuable years left in New York?
I think he got some years left. I think he got about 2 years left. Well, the deal that we gave him, I think he got about 2 years left. 2 productive seasons. And then I think he's going to fall off a cliff because his knees, I think he got arthritis in his knees, and that's not good. So I give him 2 good years, just 2.
Then you're going to need to operate on him, you know? You're right in the hospital. You take care of him.
Fantastic way to end things. SNYK State at
State of the New York Knicks podcast.
New York Knicks podcast. We appreciate you popping on and doing your thing and having some fun and taking some time out while you're at work. So I won't say good luck to your Knicks, but good luck to you and all things great, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all, man. Good luck to your Nets. As far as Cam Thomas is concerned, he's looking very promising. So I'm a little jealous because Quentin Grimes is to be determined still. But salute to the Nets, man. Y'all did something great. Y'all made the playoffs a couple years ago. Then you get rewarded with Kyrie and Durant. Durant was lying to the media saying that he watched YouTube clips. And then y'all trade for James Harden. So salute to the Nets, man. But salute to y'all for y'all platform, man. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah, man.
Even while I'm at work, man, I don't care. I always love to talk Knicks. I take some time out of work to talk Knicks. I don't really have nothing to plug in. You know, this is y'all show. I watch y'all show all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Keep working, man. Keep doing y'all thing, man. And let's go Knicks, man. I hope we could win more games than 41 next season. And let's pray to God that Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose don't end up in one of these. Let's just pray. that they don't end up in one of those. But
no hospital beds, as he just panned to a hospital bed.
I love too that
None.
you made a Kenny Atkinson reference without referencing Kenny Atkinson. So the inside net fan,
Yes.
when you said watching YouTube videos is referencing watching Coach Kenny Atkinson and Kevin Durant, and I like his coaching style. Then 3 months later, he's not the coach. So good inside information there. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all fellas, man. Keep doing your thing, man. I'm out of here, man.
Thank you again, Slizzy, aka State of the New York Knicks podcast. And my favorite answer was when I asked about this, is there a Nets Knicks rivalry? And I love the answer of no, but it's because the Knicks just aren't as good as the Nets. And I was I was surprised to hear that answer, and also got a little excited about it. I like that. That was cool to hear because I don't like the Knicks, so that was fun.
It was a different angle. Like you were expecting it. Like you're not used to a Knicks fan saying, no, there's no rivalry, but it's because the Nets are just so great. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I agree. Yes, that's a good. You put it that way. I guess there is no rivalry.
I was like, yeah, of course there isn't a rivalry. Damn it, of course. If we got Grant James Harden, Kyrie Irving, I was like, wait a minute, did a Knicks fan just say that to me? But that was a great angle. I liked it.
Hey,
I was ready. I was ready to get into my whole shtick, like. Time for Mike to be Nets fan. Didn't happen. It was cool.
No, it didn't. And look at you. You grew up. You found a Knicks fan that doesn't hate the Nets, and just gives
but
you
it
guys
was
your
for different
respect.
reasons.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. No, it is. Hey, listen, you did your thing, and that's it. That's good. I'm very happy for you.
Summer League. Have you been paying attention?
Honestly. First game on a Sunday afternoon at 4:30, the day of my fiance's bridal shower. Can't say I watched any bit of the first game. Second game, 2:30 afternoon on a Monday when I still have family in town. Can't say I watched much of that game. The first one, definitely didn't watch a second of it. Second game, I watched maybe like 5-10 minutes of it. Last night, I tried to get into it. 10:30 p.m. start. You know what I mean? For a summer league game, it's a tough sell for me, man. And it's hard for me to watch regular season games that start at 10 o'clock, let alone a summer league game that starts at 10:30. Especially since the second quarter was a bore. And it just doesn't mean anything, especially when you're playing the Lakers, which is a bunch of, like, I hate to say it, a bunch of grocery baggers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're a bunch of guys. Like, it's just the term. It's no disrespect to those guys.
They
but
Uber Eats drivers. I think that could be the new term.
Yeah, there you go. But I don't look at that as a derogatory term. So, I don't look at that as a bad thing. I feel like you can make a good amount of money doing that.
No, I understand. No, I get it.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm serious about that. But yeah. But anyway, no, it's just I feel like the summer league, people get so wrapped up in it. And Jeff Van Gundy always had a great quote. He's like, yeah, the summer league means nothing, but you don't want your guys showing up and getting crushed in the summer league or stinking in the summer league. I feel like that says more than you dominating. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know what you think about that.
I agree with that completely. I think that's a great quote, is you don't want to show up there and be a complete embarrassment and get, looked at on the court and you're losing by 30, 40 points. And it's the dream team from 1992. I feel that. You don't want to lose games like that, but at the same time, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. And I understand that. And it's a really difficult proposition because on one hand, I completely understand getting pumped up, getting excited. I'm excited about the way Cam Thomas has played. He's looked really good, and he's looked like a guy that's going to be in this rotation. And if you're seeing that kind of player, you're like, hey, I take that over Landry Shamet. But then at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, if Landry Shamet was playing in this summer league, he would be doing extraordinary things as well. Now, with that in mind, Cam's looked better, the way he moves, the way he can create his own shot. I don't think long term I believe in Cam Thomas. But you have to remember that. But it's so easy to get hyped up, and it's so easy to get excited because you look at everybody's Twitter and everybody is like their rookies are the best. So you have to have some level of reservation on things and be like, okay, he looked great. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. I'm craving basketball because we love hoops and hoops is there for us. But at the same time, don't go out and be like, there's our answers, prayer solved. You can't name guys in the summer league. The bottom of summer league rosters are guys that have become talk show host places. So you got to be careful.
It's true. That's true. But there's also those moments that I feel like summer league is for the guys who are like the top 5 picks. You know what I mean? Like guys that your team is so excited to see fan base is so excited to see. It's like your first time really watching them. I'll give you the Porzingis example. Before we knew who he was as like for real. Like, and now, I mean, even back then, we didn't know who he was in a positive way. And we know who he, whatever.
I gotcha.
So he shows up in that summer league game, Knicks Sixers, his first one versus Okafor, and he takes the ball at the top of the key. He sizes Okafor up and nails this jumper right in his face. Cash. And every Knicks fan went, whoa. Like, okay, like this guy, like, you can just tell in that moment that this guy can play. And like, so we got a little excited. Also, like Giants, like you're a Giants fan. Remember Saquon's first carry in the preseason was like a 40 or 50-yard run. You're like, okay, here we go. Like, you know what I mean?
Shockey's first preseason game. You remember that had that crazy play.
Right. It gets you excited, but it's also, you have to like keep it in perspective. Like you see something like that, you're like, all right, this guy can play. I don't need to see anything else. I'm done. Like, that's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. It's a give or take. Sometimes it's like with everything. Like sometimes there's guys like I mentioned, with you before, Chris Copeland, somebody like that came out of nowhere. He was like in his mid-20s, dominating summer league, and it was like, who is this guy? Like, all right, whatever. End of the bench, he made the team, he earned it. But guess what? He ended up playing big minutes for the Knicks down the stretch in one of their best seasons in the last 20 years. And played really well in the playoffs. So like, and then he got a big contract with the Pacers. So like, there's guys like that, like the summer league could matter, but it also, most of the time, it probably does not. And that's all I have to say.
And maybe shame on me for it, but I can't get excited about it. I'm just going to be truthfully honest. Like, and maybe that means I'm not as good of a net fan. So be it. I just,
you're not a big net fan.
I'm like, fuck it, man. Hannah. This game means
Mike.
I'm excited
I just called you
to
Hannah.
see.
Sorry. That's my fiance's name.
Let's talk about
my bad.
I didn't hear it. You just called me. You called me Hannah.
I don't know how that slipped out. I was thinking about something else and it just kind of came out.
Are you listening to what I say?
Yeah, you can't talk about basketball on this level.
Do you want me to call you Jess?
No, I'm good.
Dude, if you can, I mean, if Hannah is spitting Nets knowledge like this, that's pretty fucking cool. Let's get her on as a guest.
Yeah, let's do it.
Can you book her? Is she available?
I think so. I can call her right now. See if she's
no, it's all good. No worries.
So anyway,
it's all good, honey. So what I was saying was, I don't know what I was doing. What I was saying was, it's if I'm not as excited about it, I'm gonna get hyped up. But I have bigger visions in mind of this team winning a championship, and I'm going through all the hypotheticals again. That I'm over the Giannis Antetokounmpo bullshit. I'm all ready. I'm all excited.
You're ready.
So if I can't get like hyped up about summer league, I don't know. I'm just like, okay, this is great. But okay, Cam Thomas looks good. But I will say this, and I was working this out. The more and more I think about it, I think it's a good thing that the Nets drafted all of these young players. If they're going to grow old with KD, Harden, and Kyrie, and I fully expect Harden and Kyrie to come back, especially after what Sean Marks said, that they're basically it's going to happen. I like the idea of developing some younger talent as they come up and grow, and then those guys get older. I'm into that. So I'm into that. But at summer league standpoint, just get me to the real games, man. I'm sorry, like just because I don't, run around and you're
not breaking it down.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I
just can't get super thrilled about it. I just can't.
It's not very exciting to me. I mean, it doesn't make you a better fan or worse fan if you watch or you don't watch. You're breaking it down. I mean, I just don't like. You want to watch it. That's God bless, man. Like you love it. That's your thing. Like more power to you. But like, don't get too crazy about it. I can compare it to like breaking down prospects at the end of a draft, an NBA mock draft, and thinking that the Knicks are going to be able to get this guy and that guy, and you waste all this time, and then they end up making all these trades, and none of these guys get drafted, and you wasted so many hours of your life breaking this down. Like, it doesn't mean anything. You're just wasting you're not wasting your time because it's what you love, as long as you keep it in perspective. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's all I'm saying. More power to you. To each their own. I don't want to like shit on anybody who like loves it. You know what I mean? Because it's your thing. It's your thing. I like it, but I'm not going crazy over it.
And we haven't podcasted since Kevin Durant signed an extension. So
congrats,
I know there's
congrats.
Yes, thank you. But it was, if you look back on it, where was he going to go?
I don't know. Back to OKC? No, I'm just kidding.
No, he wasn't going anywhere. But I've always
kidding.
talked about this, and it just annoyed me and I joke around on Twitter moving the goal lines or moving the goalposts. But it's the true fact of, okay, Kevin Durant could never come to the Nets. Check, he did. Kevin Durant won't be as good. He was fine. I think he was pretty good. Kevin Durant won't re-sign though with the Nets. It's just like people keep coming up with excuses to shit on them, and he just likes it here. You know, you could.
Well, he can't go anywhere now. He can't go anywhere now. This is where he has to stay here
This
now.
is it. I mean, maybe
he can't.
He
can't. He'll look so. He already looked terrible going to the Warriors. He can't do this again. Like, you know what I mean? Especially if they won a championship this year, maybe he can go and do whatever he wants and like go to Detroit or something. But now he's in here for the long haul, and he'll probably end up owning a piece of the team down the road or something. And it's just this is what he's going to do, and this is where he has to stay. And he has kind of no choice at this point. But it's a good place to have no choice to stay when you're with your two best friends and they're both your Hall of Fame level players. Exactly, you know what I mean? Man. So it's just,
oh my God,
where else are you going to go? Like, what better situation can you be in right now? You know what I mean? I know you're getting excited. I'm saying that you're getting the juices flowing and you're ready to go.
Alex, I am so ready for next season. I'm so ready to do it. And you're going to have a cocky motherfucker, Mike Biseglia. He's going to be coming out here, first game of the season. That's next. Like, I'm going to just be into it, and I'm going to be ready, and I'm going to be hyped. And I'm ready for. I feel like I went through my learning experience with those losses. I'm so ready to go.
Now you guys have that bond.
That bond is strong. You know, me and James Harden hanging out. We're gonna be having fun. You know, Smash, of course. I'm so excited for this team. I'm so ready to roll. I'm so ready to roll. Like, let's just do it right now. I'm ready to get to it. You know, I'm over the loss. No more pity party, as I talked about. It's time to have some fun. It's time to get going. But, you know, no more bullshit. So fuck everybody that's making fun of the Nets. Your Brooklyn mercenaries. No, fuck off. These guys.
Hey, listen. That's your guy, man.
They're here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Nets are the Knicks. They don't have their history. They don't have this deep of a fan base. Us Nets fans aren't as smart as Knicks fans. But we're not mercenaries.
No, they're staying, and that's fine. And just you guys can't walk around like you won anything yet, though, because you haven't. You know what I mean? That's the only thing.
Alex, I'm walking around like we won everything. No, you know me, man. Of course, I'm now
excited. You're confident, and you should be confident because if you're healthy, you have the best team in the NBA, and it's not really that close. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bucks won their title, but they know they kind of got fortunate with the health. I mean, the health is part of it, though. Like winning a championship, staying healthy is part of it. So it's not a lucky championship. It's just they were fortunate. You know what I'm saying? Because
I love that word.
Or everybody healthy, then the Nets are winning that series in 5. Like it maybe not even 5. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. It's just now you guys went through this. You know, like they always say in the NBA, you got to lose to win, which I don't really get. But you kind of do to feel it. Like the Celtics won right away with their big three with the Garnett, Pearson, Allen. So it like you hear Celtics fans, I say it a couple times on here. I heard Bill Simmons say it once. He's like, they didn't really feel like my guys until like year 2, 3, 4 that I was with them because like I had all these moments with them. You know what I'm saying? Like it was kind of didn't feel real, but whatever. Screw them.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I've said this before. I think if the Nets are able to win a championship in this upcoming season, it will be more exciting than if they did it the year before, because you went through the losses, you gained appreciation for your players, and you kind of bonded with them. I'm all about that. I'm just ready to roll with it, man. I'm just excited for it, and I think I think Knicks fans should be excited too. I'm dying to see how Kemba Walker fits in with the Knicks. If Evan Fournier can live up to his contract, you know, there's so many question marks. RJ Barrett taking the next step. What do we see from with Randall? Is he gonna, repeat what he did last season? Is Mitch gonna be healthy? Is he gonna be worthy of getting a big contract? He gained some weight.
Jacked. He looks jacked. Not weight like fat. Like he is jacked. Like now he spent this whole time that he was injured.
Not shooting threes on videos.
Not shooting threes and crossing over random people in the gym like you and me, but like pumping iron. Like he looks like he even tweeted out today, like as a joke, like, wow, I'm looking big, like something like that. Like he's like, I'm getting excited about him because he's like an X factor. Him and Obi and Quickly are like the X factors of the team because we assume RJ is going to take a step. He might, I don't know how big of a step, but how big of a step he takes is also a key. But let's take aside, he takes a normal step and takes a step to like 20 points per game, right? and Randall stays the same, and you get decent production out of Rose and Kemba. But if you get Mitch playing like a defensive player of the year, like you think he can be, and then IQ and Obi take a step, and they're like, now we're look at this team. Like now we're like, okay, like where are we going here? And you get your random nights at 30 from Alec Burks, and like you're like, okay, like what's up now? And now we can like not contend for a title, but like we can be in the top 4 again. I mean, why not? So it's just it's kind of exciting, and it sucks because it's hard not to. I know it's a summer league, and like I'm going to be contradicting myself a little bit, but you're seeing like the Knicks trade away the 19th pick for basically nothing, like future protected firsts that can end up to 2 seconds in 5 years if it's not within those picks. And people are assuming Charlotte's going to be good, and I mean I can't still, but like I'm seeing Kai Jones dunking on everybody in the summer league, and that's getting me kind of upset but I know there was another pick in between. Can't even tell you who the guy was who went 20. But whatever, it's the summer league, and I'll relax. But I still don't understand why they didn't take a swing. I know they got the other extra seconds and then they traded down and this and that, but they could have you can maneuver to get seconds. It's not that hard to get second round picks in the NBA. Whatever. I'm just excited for the season. Like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock. I want to see Kemba play. I want to see him knock down some threes. I want to see everything. I'm just ready to go. I don't want to like fanboy it, but like because I feel like they could have been better. You know what I'm saying, with that pick. But at the same time, you don't know if that pick was good, so it doesn't matter. At the same time, I can't stand the Knicks fans that acting like, oh, Grimes and McBride were their picks all along. Like, okay, then why did they trade it? Like, give me a break. It's kind of like the NFL war room on draft day. You show them after they take a pick, and everybody's in there. All the coaches and GMs are slapping 5 and hugging. We got our guy. And then 5 minutes later, they're like, 5 minutes before that, they're all cursed. No, how can you do this? How can you do this? And then, but either way, they're on picture. And then 2 years later, the coach gets fired, and they say, "Oh man, I knew I told them we should have picked Mahomes." Like, okay, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just. Everybody's going to give you, we got our guy after the draft day. That's all I'm trying to say. So
of course.
Take what the Knicks are saying about McBride and Grimes were the guys all along with a grain of salt. That's all I'm trying to say. Even though McBride and Sims look great in the summer league. That's all I have to say.
The East is going to be packed, dude.
It is, man.
No, a team I think people are sleeping on. Who do you think? I'm going to say a team I think people are sleeping on. Who do you think that team is in the East?
The Wizards.
No. Good guess. I think
I was guessing because
Net Connection. Who's next?
Net Connection. I don't know. Stop
Pacers. I think the Pacers are going to be solid.
Oh,
because they were depleted by injuries. You get Malcolm Brogdon back. You get TJ Warren back, and
LeVert,
now you add
100% healthy.
Now you add him in with LeVert and Sabonis. I think the Pacers are going to be a problem.
And they had a good draft pick, right? Who did they pick in the draft? They had somebody good.
I don't know off the top of my head who they picked, but I like. See, like to me, the Bulls are the fancy pick. I like the Pacers way more than the Bulls. This always happens, and the Bulls got better, but there's this like idea that they're going to automatically. I don't know. I'm feeling. Yeah, I'm feeling the Pacers.
The Wizard and the Pacers have Rick Carlisle as their coach now. Don't forget that. He's back home, where he started.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're right. There's always that team. Like last year, I was like, the Wizards are going to be, oh my God, look how great the Wizards look. And they weren't as good. They had their COVID issues and whatever. But the Pacers might be that team. You're right. There's always that team that nobody sees. And that's what you always look at on paper. You see the guys on paper like, oh, these guys are going to be slotted here. And then there's always guys that get better year to year. Like we don't ever take that into account. Like, are the Knicks going to be that team where they take a even bigger step because RJ Barrett got better, because Quickly got better, because Toppin got better, because Mitch got better, because Randall said this? You know what I mean? Are they going to be that team that comes out of nowhere again? And this is just who they are now, a top 4 team. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? People are just, but the people who are, you would probably agree with this too. The people who are like, oh, the Knicks can be fighting for a play-in tournament game. Like, can we have a little more respect than that? Than the 10th seed in the East? Like, can we get a little more respect than that? Like come on, man.
Yeah, I would disagree. I would disagree with that completely. I would say
5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't be shocked if if the Knicks are the 6 or the 7, I wouldn't be stunned based on just how competitive I think the East is. But I think let me back up. I think the Knicks have potential to go all over the place. I think that the person that says that is doing that because they dislike the Knicks and they just want to be a dickhead. Could that happen? Okay, maybe. Could they fall to 7? Maybe. I guess because I think the East is improved. Nothing against the Knicks, but I think the person that's saying that just wants to be a dickhead to the Knicks, not anything about what they're doing because they're better. Now,
I called it negative muscle memory. Negative muscle memory. Yeah.
But like I said, I think the Pacers got better. I think the Hornets are a year older. I think the East in general is just better. So if that happened, it's because just things didn't fall into place magically like it did. But I think people that are saying that just want to be assholes to the Knicks. I think that's unfair.
So it's Knicks for clicks is what you're saying. Say Knicks for clicks is what it is. And I get it. So no, I mean it is what it is. So our boy Wise Guy, he was one of our poll question answers last week, and he had the best poll question answer we've ever seen on this podcast on Bad Weather Fans. We were like, this is an incredible answer. He DM'd me and asked me to bring up a topic on the podcast. He goes, "Hey Alex, how are you?" "I'm good, thank you." He goes, "I wanted to ask your opinion on something."
"I'm good, thank you."
No, I'm answering his DM screenshot.
So you never answered. You're just giving a fake answer.
No, I wrote, I'll take a note and bring it up. That's what I wrote back to him. And we had a conversation about it.
You look.
I was just trying to be funny, and you ruined the joke, but it's all right.
Shut up. All right, go ahead, Nick fan. Go. For it.
I'll call you my fiance's name again if you do that again. Okay. So anyway, so hey Alex, how are you? I wanted to ask your opinion on something that's in my mind, and maybe it will be a good topic for your next podcast. So we brought back Rose. We signed Kemba and Fournier. We have IQ and RJ. Then why did we draft 3 guards? Not only that, but there are 3 guards that fit perfectly into Tibbs' style. It's a good point. I mean, it's always good to draft best player available.
Right.
And I think at the time of the draft also, they probably weren't sure where they were going to go at point guard in free agency. So adding another one and to have another one in the system that can come up and develop like McBride was a good risk to have. And Grimes, it looks like a really good shooter. I don't know how good he's going to be overall, but he looks like at the very least, he could be a very good spot up shooter, which is something you always need on your bench. You know, in the 25th pick in the draft, you're not sure what he's going to be anyway. So I know we had Quickly last year, which was around that pick. So, but that doesn't happen every year. Like Quickly's story was really good because that doesn't happen. I think it's always good to have depth, and it's always good to draft best player available, no matter where you are in the NBA, because talent always finds a way to play. That's my opinion. What do you think about that?
No, I agree with that too, especially in a guard-heavy league now, where you need playmakers, guys that can make shots. Like look at the Nets last year, who are loaded with playmakers. But the second James Harden and Kyrie went down, they had nobody but Kevin Durant to make shots. So the more guys you can add that can do things, move, create shots for other people, I think that's fine to have, and I wouldn't be too concerned with that. Like just take best player available and move on. I'm a big proponent of that, unless you're like, I mean, I guess not every scenario is exactly the same, but for the most part, take what you can get, take the best player who your scouting department and your team believes is the guy you want, and just go with that.
You're big BPA guy, right? Big BPA guy.
Within reason, within reason,
right.
I'm not going to say everything's the same, but for the most part, you can never have too much depth at anything. So I'd be okay with that.
Well, think about it from this perspective. The point is like always take best player available in the NBA draft, unless you're a great team picking at the top of the draft, and you can draft for fit more because you're so good. Unless you're like the Pistons when you passed on Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh because you had Tayshaun Prince and Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace, and you're like, let's take Darko. He can back up Ben Wallace and then come in when we lose Ben Wallace at free agency. You know what I mean? And it didn't work out, and you cost yourself at least 3 titles. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I know
it's crazy because if the Pistons
you never know.
Go and they don't take Darko and they take, let's say, Melo, who was the consensus, he came off the national championship with Syracuse.
Yeah.
If Melo goes to Detroit and then they can develop him,
and he wins a ring early.
Oh, yeah. God, that changes everything. How good would Carmelo have been with that Pistons team? I mean, oh my God.
Well, we saw how well Melo played with Billups in Denver. You know what I mean? Like they played really well together in Denver. So like they could have played together and it could have worked. And Melo, young Melo with the headband, and he had ups, and he was like, before he got like a little bit more bulky, you know what I mean? Like he was a beast. He was a top 5 player in the NBA. That's why the Knicks gave up everybody to get him. You know what I'm saying?
Remind me, I was a freshman at Syracuse. I saw Melo play and win the national championship.
Wow.
I mean, electric score, so good. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe so. Darko, I think, was on that Pistons team that won the championship. That was his rookie year, I believe.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think he played any minutes in the playoffs. I don't think he played a second in the playoffs, which is crazy. And Larry Brown hates rookies overall, and we know that. But if Melo was that good, and Larry Brown, if he's that good and he's on your bench, I know Larry Brown is infamous for having LeBron and Melo and those guys off the bench on the Olympic team that won bronze. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just, but. And Larry Brown's a quirky guy in itself. And, you know, we know about him. The Knicks fans know all about him. But I think somebody like Melo, and I know Tayshaun Prince was their guy, and that starting five was so great. And they were like one of my favorite teams, non-Knicks teams. They reminded me of the 90s Knicks. I know a lot of teams say that. They remind me of the 90s Knicks. No, those Pistons teams really did. Like, bunch of guys. None of them were really that great. I mean, besides Ewing was great. But, like, Billups was great. Like Ben Wallace was great, but like nobody was at Ewing's level. But they were all a bunch of guys that just worked hard, played defense. Tayshaun Prince had that block on Reggie Miller. That's one of the greatest blocks I've ever seen in my life, like live. So it's just, I get it. Tayshaun was their guy, but you had to take Melo there. It's just,
and that's what's so frustrating about the 2004 Nets is that Kid was hurt at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But you had Kenyon and RJ coming into becoming star players, and the Nets went up 3-2 versus the Pistons, the Brian Scalabrine game. And then game 6, they go back to New Jersey. They went up like 14-3. I remember sitting there at the arena like, this team is going back.
Yeah.
Detroit just had another level and won that game. And I always get frustrated because the Pistons defeated the Lakers in that finals. And I always think, like, if the Nets made it to the finals and Kid was healthy, that was the best team that they had because RJ and Kenyon took a next step.
And
it just didn't happen because of, you know, Kid was hurt, but I'm not making excuses. You know, I always say to people, I'm not going to make an excuse, but here's what happens.
This is why it happened.
I'm making an excuse. Fuck it. I'm making an excuse. That still bothers me.
We all have those moments. We have those moments.
But that's sports. It's like, damn it. If KD didn't, if Harden didn't get hurt, if Kyrie didn't get hurt, damn it. That's why I'm just like, just next season, just nobody get hurt. Like, everybody just be healthy, man.
Hey, listen, every other year, Kyrie does stay healthy in the playoffs. So maybe this is your year. He stays healthy in the playoffs.
Finally time. He's ready. Yeah. He's ready for a healthy year.
He's due. He's due to be healthy.
All right, Alex, you want to do your poll question, and then we'll, Dolan Trump, he sponsors our Knicks trivia jersey. Buy his merch. Head on over. You go get Dolan masks. Go get Dolan shirts. Go get Dolan. I think he's selling panties now, which is a little weird, but go for it.
Hey, listen, there's some women. There's women Knicks fans that are listening to this podcast. Shout out to them.
Actually, it's funny you say that. I was going through our analytics.
Yeah.
There are, but not
there are a lot
more men.
Hey, listen. Everybody listen. I'm happy with anybody listening.
That's fair.
So anyway. But download, because that helps us out a lot more if you download the podcast and not just listen. Just as a little sidebar, and give us some thumbs ups on YouTube and subscribe on all devices and all podcast apps. And let's go, man. We're growing, and we need your help to grow a little more if you love the show. So anyway, the poll question, I put it out every week on @NicksCentral on Twitter. Knicks fans, what player on the Summer League roster besides Quickly and Toppin has you the most excited, and comment why? Now, this was after game 2 and before game 3. I put Quentin Grimes, Deuce McBride, Sims, and Vildoza. Which guy do you think won, and who do you think should have won?
I'm going to let you answer that question for the audience. I'm going to say Grimes.
You have no idea.
But I have no clue. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and do a podcast.
Okay, how about this? I'll break it down for you. I'll break it down for you. Grimes has looked a little sketchy, but he has a great jump shot, right? McBride has looked incredible as a point guard. Lefty, could dunk. Looks really good. Looks like a steal. Sims looks like an athletic freak at center, and he's jumping, like dunking, and it looks like he's dunking on an 8-foot hoop. Vildoza has been a little sketchy. I don't know. He kind of, it's just like, you're a point guard from Argentina. You look okay. You made some decent plays, but you're non-guaranteed contract, and we could save money if we cut you. And it's just kind of like, whatever. So what do you think?
With him?
With him? Yeah, that's the guy. No, Sims won. 43.6% Sims.
Of course he did.
42.1% McBride. 12% Grimes, 2.4% Vildoza. So now why? Why do you feel this way? Let's see. William Carson at William 57790761. I was looking forward to the summer league because I wanted to see Sims. He did not disappoint. Let's see who else we have. Our boy Aram at Aram822 or Aram. McBride because he has that defensive factor that can shoot threes. So I want to see him have the ball a little more, but IQ is going crazy out there. LOL. Yeah, quickly is really dominating. Like he doesn't belong in the summer league, you know? Let's see. We have our boy Eric,
which is a good thing because there's a lot of second-year guys that come back.
It's true.
You know, they come back because they need like Theo Pinson's in the summer league.
Yeah, well, he's just trying to get on a roster. Like he's got
I get that, but I'm saying it's not.
It's not all guys who are just.
Right. That's a good thing. It's you don't go to the summer league because you advance past it. Don't worry about it. Like Nick Claxton didn't go to the summer league for the Nets, which I think he should have. But at the same time,
but you want him to stay healthy, yeah.
So, okay, right? I gotcha.
Okay, so sorry to cut you off. So we have also at Eric St. Croix, at Eric St. Croix. Easy for me to say. Grimes, and he put instead of the G, he put a 6. So like you get it, like Grimes, and he's number 6, and he put the 6 there because it looks like a G. So Grimes, see what I did there? He put in parentheses. Yes, I did, because I think if he excels in summer league and during training camp, he could have a legit shot at cracking a very tight Tibbs rotation, like McBride and Sims, but I just don't see a path to real minutes this season barring injury, which is a good point because at point you have Rose, Kemba, and you have Quickly who plays the point every now and then. Even Burks showed he can play the point a little bit. So how is McBride going to get minutes? And Sims is going to be behind Noel and Mitch and Taj. But you know what? If Sims can play, like I said, talent always finds a way to get minutes. If you're that good, you're going to get on the floor.
Agreed.
Unless you were at a dinner with Leon Rose and Julius Randle, and you were just playing the Alfred Payton joke, but that was going too far with that one. But you see how I'm getting better, that I'm learning when my jokes are stalling and I'm just cutting them off like mid terrible joke. Or
I thought that was really funny. I laughed. Unfortunately, my mic was mute.
So we have our boy at Mr. Record. He took a picture. He got a picture of The Sims, like, you know, the game The Sims. So like, you know, Jericho Sims. So there you go. So that's a good one. Let's see. Chet Nick. He's at Chester Nason, the number 1, and then the number 1. McBride for his apparent ability on both sides of the ball just ekes out Sims though. What a coup at number 58. Sometimes what a coup at number 58. Sometimes the draft it's better to be lucky. How did Sims slip? I don't know how he slipped, but let's pump the brakes a little bit. It's just summer league. He might never play a minute in the NBA. Just putting that out there. Or if it is just some garbage minutes, you don't know. Or he could become, you know, DeAndre Jordan in the second round. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what it could be. It's very exciting to be a Knicks fan right now, but we're not used to this. Let's see. All right, let's end it with our boy Leo Valentin, great stand-up comedian, was on the podcast a couple episodes ago. Grimes is the guy that can make the biggest impact, is what he says, and I agree. He could, because he could shoot.
End of story.
Yeah, I can't tell if he's joking. You know what I'm saying? He's always like, to me, he's always joking.
Serious with that. I think that's
I think he's serious with that. You know, there could be a punchline there. You know what I mean? I don't know what impact means.
And
maybe
Mike sucks.
Yeah. Maybe Grimes looks like an actor from that movie Deep Impact. You know what I mean? I don't know. There could be some kind of like joke, some mixed in there that we didn't get.
Yeah, no, I got you. No, I believe that. I believe that.
But anyway, that's the poll question, guys. And thanks for your responses. Appreciate that. So now we're going on to our
people that want to follow you and ask you and answer you.
At Knicks Central, I do a poll question every week, and if you respond, I might read your Twitter response on the podcast if you're lucky.
Dope.
Just kidding. If you're good. So now we're up to our jersey number trivia portion, sponsored by Dolan J. Trump. We used to do our poll question, our jersey number per episode. If it's 33, we're guessing what Nick. We obviously Patrick Ewing, and we go back and forth, but we may pick random players. But now we're in 77, and there are no numbers up this high. Well, was there 77? There was a 77 for the Nets. Sean Bradley, right? Or
no,
George Mirasan.
George Mirasan 77, but there are.
Right.
But I doubt that he's going that route, Dolan, tonight.
Yeah, no.
He might. Maybe I'm wrong.
Let's see what he gave me.
So you got to ask me first because I asked you first last time.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. This
Did
is
he
from our
put
president.
the college at the very end this time?
Yes, he did. And
Okay.
number first, because remember he buried the lead of the number the first time he did this, and it was like, I don't know where the number is.
He likes strawberries. One time I saw him at a Whole Foods. I think he likes Trader Joe's. Yeah, go for it.
So follow Dolan J Trump at Dolan_J_Trump, and he's selling some good shirts. Some new shirts are coming out too. Make the Knicks great again, or make Knicks
And he's a
great
Net
again.
fan, if you know him deep.
He's a Knicks fan.
Inside.
Used to be a Nets fan, but he's a
Used to
Knicks
be a
fan.
Nets
Probably knows more Nets trivia than most people. So anyway,
Yes, more than me.
so he wore. So this is a net. Guess this
Let's do
net,
it.
Matt.
I'm ready.
Mike.
Yeah.
I called you Matt now. First it was Hannah, now it's Matt. I don't know what's going on, man. It's getting late. So he wore number 22 during the 2008 and 2009 seasons in New Jersey. He was the 10th overall pick in the 2003 draft for the Washington Wizards and was a member of the all rookie team. Signed as a free agent. I'm going too fast. Yeah, let me slow down. Think about it. Yeah, you're right. I was just reading these like this energy drink before I. Yes, got it. Jarvis Hayes. Good job. I was going to say this energy drink that I drank before this podcast is really getting to my head right now. I'm getting like really like going crazy. And I swear it was an energy drink and not something else.
Jarvis Hayes, Dolan. You can't beat
Jarvis
yourself.
Hayes. That was tough, man.
George Washington? No. Where did he go to school?
Let me read. You want me to read the rest of the clues?
Yeah.
So signed as a free agent after 1 year pit stop in Detroit. Despite being a productive scorer, his career only lasted 7 years. His final season in New Jersey was 2009. He averaged just over 8 points for his career. He played college ball at Western Carolina before transferring to Georgia. So Georgia is where he.
I see. I said George Washington, so I knew it was.
You got a George.
Yeah,
there was a George in there. Yeah.
So,
all right.
So I'm 4-1 against this guy.
Yeah. He only got me with the what was his name? Chris Wilcox. That really pissed me off. I'm like, well, should have known that.
All right, you ready?
Right.
He wore number 42. I'll go slow for you because you were the micro machine man.
He did 42 the last time, didn't he?
Is this an old one?
Chris Mills?
Yeah, is that the one from last time?
Yeah, that's one from last. I got it that fast the last time too.
He wore number 7.
Carmelo Anthony. Al Harrington.
No. Did we do this one too? No, we haven't done this one. All right. He wore number 7 after being acquired from the Lakers in 1994, but switched to number 35 for the 1995 season. His only
That's Doug Christie. We did that one already. Doug Christie. Right?
We did that one also?
Yeah, man. You're giving me the old ones.
Wow. All right. He wore number 9 during the 1992 and 1993 seasons.
Number 9. Okay.
He was drafted 20th overall in the 1984 draft out of Ohio State by the Detroit Pistons.
Okay. Number 9.
He likes gummy bears. He played 11 years in the NBA and won a title on the 1988 Los Angeles Lakers.
Campbell.
I need a first name.
Tony Campbell.
Got it.
Yeah, man. See? 90s Knicks, man. You can't stump me on the 90s Knicks. He's got to go in the 80s, and he's got to go to those Isaiah years where you had random players like Chris Wilcox. You know what I mean? You got to go.
Yeah,
the 90s Knicks. I'm not getting stumped on the 90s Knicks. That's for sure.
Can I finish off the questions?
Yeah, you can. As Leon jumps in the picture, your cat on YouTube. Check us out.
He was acquired for scoring, but averaged only 7.6 after averaging over 20 points in the previous 3 seasons with Minnesota. This is my favorite clue. He grew up down the street from Mini Mike Biseglia in the neighboring town of Teaneck, New Jersey.
Yeah.
He eventually
I would have
gotten
gotten
to Dallas.
Every Knicks fan would have gotten that because every Knicks fan knows who grew up down the street from you. That's just what it is.
That's what he said. It's funny. He wrote, Teaneck gives it away. He wrote that.
I believe it. Trust me, I believe it. I believe it. I see it.
Yeah,
I see it.
Teaneck gives
You
it away.
you do the dark screen text messages, huh? You
At
do the
night.
dark
No, it
screen?
switches over at night.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
It's
I always
have
keep it light.
sensitive eyes.
Yeah, I like, I don't know. I like the light screen. I don't know. I'm into that.
No, at night it changes over. I make it dark at night.
You know what I wanted to ask? State, Slizzy. I wanted to ask him his favorite
missed
jelly.
something?
I wanted to make that a question
Ask him what?
on the pocket. His favorite jelly. Like we remember talked about that once.
God.
What's your
No
favorite
one
jelly?
cares. I hate that question. No one cares about jellies.
I'm just kidding.
No, I'm vetoing that. No jellies.
No jelly
I think
questions.
I'm gonna say favorite deli. I like that idea. Who's your favorite deli? What's your favorite deli?
My favorite deli? Well, it used to be Clover Deli over here in the city, but it shut down from the pandemic. Don't really have a favorite deli now. Honestly.
Well,
Got to be honest. Yeah. So anyway, that's the podcast. You know what's funny?
what's that?
We're so close to the basketball season again because of this pandemic season. It just feels like so far away, but we're not that far.
No,
It's
I
only a
know.
couple months away. Football around the corner. Jets Giants Saturday, 7:30. Looking forward to that, to see Zach Wilson play. I'm kind of upset that Elijah Moore got hurt. I mean, whatever. Hopefully he'll be okay. I'm sure he's just banged up. I'm so excited.
I love, by the way, the
Football.
overreaction to having Zach Wilson not have a great first series in the inter squad games.
Right. He missed a few games from holding out. I mean, 2 days from holding out.
I feel bad for him on that standpoint.
Right.
It's like, because
And the
he's
Jets
a
defense
Jet,
is really
it's
good.
news.
Yeah.
But if it was another team, it wouldn't be news. I feel bad
Mhm.
for him on that. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God,
Give him
he's
a chance.
bust. Because like, if you're having a conversation, are you a bust off that? You are a jerk. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just, call him a bust after 4 years at the intersquad.
Right.
So stupid.
Yeah. You
So
can't even call a
stupid.
quarterback. You can't even call a quarterback a bust after 1 year unless he was like really that bad. But if he's
Right.
like okay, like you couldn't tell me Geno Smith was a bust after 1 year. You couldn't tell me Darnold was a bust after 1 year. You couldn't tell me that. You couldn't tell me Daniel Jones was a bust after 1 year. You know what I'm saying? But like
Daniel Jones had a better first year than second year.
right. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like Daniel Jones rode that first win against the Bucks like for the whole season as like a positivity. Like that was a good win and it was very shocking. But this is a big year for the Giants, man. Saquon back and like last year, they can't keep losing 10 games in a season and expect to keep the regime around. You know what I mean?
With 17 games, maybe you can.
Yeah, maybe you can. It's gonna be weird. There's no such thing as a 500 team anymore, which is weird.
Unless
you know
you
what I mean? It's
tie.
either winning season or losing season, unless you tie. Yeah, but then you're not really technically 500, right? Then it's like
I don't know how that works.
different equation.
All right.
Anyway.
This has been Bad Weather Fans, episode number 77. Dolan, you are now 1-4 against the Bad Weather fanboys. You need to step your game up. You talk about how great you are. You talk about how smart you are at knowing these teams. You're not doing well. Get better at it. This is a call out to you. Your merch might be great, but your questions are subpar.
Stop
Right
testing me on the 90s Knicks, man. Just stop testing me on the 90s Knicks. It's not going to work.
It's not going to
It's
work.
not gonna work.
Alex knows his stuff. He's a young.
You said 42 last
genius.
time, and I got Chris Mills before you even gave me the second question.
And then I gave
You
you
know
the
what I mean?
2 old ones because I can't read text messages. So
And there you go. Yeah.
Episode 77, a lot of fun. Always enjoy when we have our interviews. Alex, I just want to get to the regular season. I want to get to the preseason, which starts October 2nd for the Nets. Knicks, I assume, is around the same time. Can't wait to get there. It's going to be here before you know it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, all of you guys, for listening to this podcast. Download, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and give those likes. Give likes, because if I don't get, because Alex,
Thumbs
he'll
up.
text me. He'll go, Mike, what the fuck are you doing? I'll go, Alex, I'm at my job. He goes, Mike, I don't care. Get out of your job. Go subscribe on YouTube. What the fuck are you doing? Subscribe, like, download. Give my cat a pet. Give Alex's dog a pet.
Download our
Appreciate
episodes, please. It helps out a lot more. And make sure you eat only grape jelly because that's the only kind of jelly that matters. Just so that's the last jelly reference on this show, I promise.
I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
I'm not.
Episode 77, Bad Weather Fans. Alex,
Mike,
see you later.
bye.
Bye.